Hello, good morning and good afternoon as well as good evening. Today uh, I have come with new title. This is the Allegory of the Cave. It is in Sastri first and BVS second year. It is a dialogue of Plato. It is allegory. It has a different meaning. Allegory means uh, just the idea that does not stand exactly what it says. It stands for something else. That is allegory. To clarify allegory, you must listen one story. There is a story of Spider and the Bee. This is an essay written by Jonathan Swift, that is Spider and the Bee. And in that Spider and the Bee, Spider makes the house. Bee comes in the house of Spider. Bee does not get chance to go out of the spider. He gets snapped and just trapped there. And they have a debate. And in the debate, Spider becomes proud of his house, of his materials, of his palace, and scolds Bee and says that Bee does not have any house, any property, any materials of his own. Bee only steals the honey from the flower gardens of other people. So Bee is a thief, he accuses. And at last they debate who is greater, who is more powerful, who is better, either the spider and the bee. At that time, bee does not have any time, and he to uh, out, goes out of that cobweb, and this is a story of the spider and the bee. And in this story, exactly, B stands for ancient writers, spider stands for modern writer. B भनेको ancient writer, spider भनेको आधुनिक writer. And cobweb means modern library. त्यो माकुराको जालो भनेको modern library, and they meet in the modern library. And in this sense, who is greater? को चाहिँ ठुलो भन्नेमा ancient writers are better. Hard worker, they work hard, they collect honey. Bee collects honey, बीले मौरीले सबै honey जम्मा गर्छ खान आफ्नो लागि हैन अर्काको लागि. And ancient writers also read hard, collect the knowledge, get information, make many things better. राम्रो चिज गराउँछन् and for the readers, for the society, not for themselves. तर modern writers are like spiders. Modern writers are चाहिँ spiders जस्तै हुन्. स्पाइडर्सले जस्तै कबवेब सामान्य चिफ लभ स्टोरिजका स्टोरिजहरू लेख्छन् र बुक लेख्छन् र एन्ड पिपल कमिट सुसाइड मान्छेको आत्महत्या हुन्छ. सो मोडर्न राइटर्स आर नट एज सुपेरियर एज एन्सियन्ट राइटर्स भनेको त्यो स्टोरीमा. एन्ड द स्टोरी अफ द बी एन्ड द स्पाइडरको स्टोरी जुन छ त्यो चाहिँ मोडर्न राइटर्स र एन्सियन्ट राइटर्सलाई बीलाई एन्सियन्ट राइटर्स स्पाइडरलाई मोडर्न राइटर्ससँग कम्पेरिजन गर्नु इज कल्ड एलेगोरी. यस्तोलाई एलेगोरी भनिन्छ. द कम्पेरिजन बिट्विन द lifestyle, materials, all the things, activities done by the spider with the modern writers, and a bee's labor, honey collection, and other things is compared with, and the ancient writer is called allegory. Writer talks about bee and the spider, but he does not say anything about the ancient writer and the modern writer. Readers have to understand that this is allegory. This is different meaning. The spider and the bee stands for the ancient and modern and the ancient writers. That is what the readers have to interpret. And that type of writing is called allegory. So, allegory of the cave means here what the writer has said is that this world is allegory. यो संसार नै एउटा cave हो. In allegory, this world is a cave. यो संसार नै cave, den हो. And we are the prisoners of this cave. And we don't know anything else. We are not out of this cave. So comparison of this world is a cave. And human being as the prisoners is allegory in the essay. It is a dialogue and it gives very interesting and logical meaning. The allegory of the cave is a discussion about politics. It is about politics. The concept is based on the Republics. Republics is a well-known book of Plato, and this allegory of the cave is concerned with a republic, which gives the idea of justice and the idea of government. It conveys the idea that truth we know is very little. We know what we perceive, and we have no way of knowing beyond it. We do not see anything what is beyond it. We understand what we see. We know what we see in front of us. We believe that is true, but that is not true. True is something beyond our understanding, beyond our visible sight or visible objects, right? This allegory has been persuasive for centuries and it has remained at the center of thought even today. In this essay, Plato describes symbolically the predicament of mankind in the cave. Predicament means problem of the mankind in the world, in the cave, right? Cave means in the world. The cave is the world of sight, means this world. This world is the cave. The world where we all live is the cave. We are all innocent and ignorant prisoners of the cave. The light of fire is the sun, and the sun is the knowledge here. Journey upward is the ascent means going up of the soul into the intellectual world. Journey upward means becoming intellectual, enlightened one, educated one. In the world of knowledge, the idea of good appears last of all. Good idea comes only at last, not at the beginning. Those who attain the idea of good are unwilling to descend to human affairs. Means those people who are intellectual, who are enlightened, who are rich with wisdom, virtue, do not want to come down in the human affairs, in this world of hate. They do not want to come down in the world of this darkness, this unreal world, this world of trouble, this world of just a problem, right? That is why the writer says that those educated people are above the world of reality, world of cave, right? Their good soul like dwelling, right, in upper world, like to dwell. Better here is okay, one word is missed here. Two like to dwell. Two is missed. Like to dwell in upper world, and it is their natural desire to dwell in the upper world. It is natural desire because they do not want to come down. It is natural, it is acceptable desire. They face shadows of images of justice but not the truth. Just people face only the shadows of images of justice but not the truth. The confusion of eyes arises either from coming out of the light or from going into the light. Means people become confused twice. Once coming out of the cave means out of the cave means becoming intellectual, honest learning. They just do not believe in it, or going into the cave. All right, two times. Once the cave dwellers come out of the cave, they confuse and they do not believe that what they see is truth. And they believe that what they had seen before, the shadow, was the truth. And later, when they go back into the cave again, they get confused. They think that perhaps whatever they were able to see outside was truth, and the thing that they have not, they have come inside the cave and seen is wrong. So people get two times confused. No professors can put knowledge into the soul. Into the soul means into the brain, into the mind of the people. No professor, no teachers can teach, can impart the knowledge directly into the soul of the students. They can only sharpen the already innate existing knowledge. Writer says that knowledge is already there innate. By birth, people have brought the knowledge inside them. And the teachers and professors can do only sharpening, only opening, only making those knowledge and already existed knowledge, exploring of the knowledge of the innate knowledge. The job of the professors is to explore the inner part of ideas of the mind that is almost hidden. By birth they are brought. So that is what they have to explore and sharpen it. The professors cannot put the knowledge into the minds of the pupils if they cannot put sight into the blind's eyes. This is what another idea. Professors cannot put the knowledge into the minds of the pupils if they cannot put the sight in the blind's eyes, right? The philosophers and enlightened people should be compelled to descend, means come down to the human affairs. Philosophers should come down. Enlightened people should come down to the cave, to these human affairs. And they must not live forever in the upper world because they are the possessors of the best minds. They are the best mind holders, and those philosophers, those enlightened people, those intellectual peoples, those wise people, brilliant people, virtuous people who have understood everything about the world must come down, and then they must use their brain to change the life of the people of this world. After having learned about the beauty, justice, and good, the wise philosophers have to think of descending to their old place to share the fortune and misfortune alike, means similar. After the intellectual people, philosophers, wise people have learned everything, have seen the beauty, have learned the justice, have learned about good, this should come down and in their old cave, in their old place, and share both fortune, fate, and misfortune similarly to other people. The spiritually enlightened ones can see the real objects. Only enlightened one, only spiritually and just in wise, enlightened people can see the real objects. Other cannot see it. The world we know is like a cave. People are like the prisoners here. They are ignorant, innocent, and unenlightened, uneducated, and they are still in the world of darkness. They know nothing about this reality, about the truth, about the knowledge, and then they are in the world of darkness. Philosophy is a true medicine of mind. In fact, the intellectual people, enlightened people, are the philosophers. And philosophy is, in fact, the medicine of the mind. It is the theory, reality, and knowledge. Philosophy is the theory, philosophy is the reality, philosophy is the knowledge, and it is through the knowledge, it is through the reality, it is through the theory, it is through the philosophy, people can change the ideas, people can change the life. Allegory of the cave shows that each of us is in the den and we cannot see other world. Other world is the real world. Other world is the true world. We cannot see that. The only great philosophers can see other worlds through the training of body, mind, and senses. Philosophers have trained their body, have trained their minds, have trained their senses, and from there only they can see the true world, another world. But we cave dwellers can do nothing, can see nothing, we cannot see. It shows the perennial state of man's knowing. Perennial means continuous state condition of man's knowing. We cannot complete knowing anything else. It is continuous learning, continuous knowing. The darkness of the den refers the man's narrow, unenlightened mind. Darkness means narrow mind, unenlightened mind, uneducated mind. Finding and knowing the truth is the central point of this dialogue. And what is truth? What is reality? That is knowing that reality. Finding that reality is the real, just this central point of the dialogue, of this dialogue. And the but the whole or the ultimate truth is impossible to know except the concept of it. We know only the concept of the truth. Whole concept of truth, whole idea of truth, ultimate truth is beyond the possibility. It is not possible. It is not able to know. So justice, happiness, and law depend on how we perceive the truth. Justice also depends on our understanding. Happiness also depends on our understanding. Law also depends on our understanding, right? If truth is perceived wrongly, if we understand truth wrongly, one fails to do justice. We cannot give the justice. We cannot enjoy the real happiness if we fail to understand the justice. We cannot give actual law as required to the society if we fail to understand the justice. That is what Socrates says. The basic story of the allegory is that there are prisoners in the cave. This is a story of the one story, and through this story, the writer has analyzed the detailed philosophical ideas. Their bodies are tied and chained. Prisoners are tied. Prisoners are chained. Their bodies are tied. Their chains they are chained, and their heads are not allowed to move. They are facing towards the opposite wall of the cave, looking only opposite wall of the cave. Behind the cave, there is a raised wall along which the passers-by are walking. To the left of the raised wall, to the left side, there is a raised wall. There is a fire. By the blaze of the fire, shadows of the passers-by are reflected on the opposite wall. The prisoners can see only the shadows of the people. They cannot tell clearly whose shadows and what they have seen. They hear this is not hill. There is a one mistake, typing mistake. L भएछ R हुनु पर्यो. They hear, not a hill. They hear the echo of the noises made by the passers-by. This is the story of the cave, how we are imprisoned in the world of ignorance and innocent and in the darkness. And through this story, the writer has brought the philosophical concept, right? The writer has brought the philosophy of the politics, and he has advised to bring all the philosophers and the best minds forcefully in the cave to change the life of the cave dwellers and to make them like them. That means the enlightened people, virtuous people, intellectual people, wise people must be brought here forcefully in this earth from the world of knowledge, from the world of wisdom, and then they must be given the responsibility of ruling the world and making the world different, changing this world. His political philosophy is that he who wants to rule the nation can ruin means destroy himself and the nation. He ruins himself and ruins even the nation. But he who is unwilling to rule, he who is reluctant to rule, does not want to become the ruler, rules the best. Means the rulers should be without property. Rulers should be without any private property, without any greed, without any other corrupt minds to corrupt. And they must not be willing to rule. Those who are not willing to rule the best and make the just administration best one to the public, to the people. But those who are eager to rule, who are mad for power, who are ready to rule, who are always just eager to go in the chair, they fight, they struggle, they destroy themselves, they destroy even the nation. So rulers should be intellectual, wise, enlightened, and people who are philosophers and people who have known everything about the world. The allegory presents most of Plato's major philosophical assumptions that the world revealed by our senses is not the real world, but only a poor copy of it, and the real world can only be understood intellectually. By intellectual people, the real world can be understood. His idea is that knowledge cannot be transformed from teacher to student. Education consists of directing students' minds towards what is real and important and allow them to understand it for themselves, but not putting everything in the mind, not imparting everything in the mind of the pupils. His faith is that universe ultimately good and universe is there is okay. If he feels his faith is that universe is there is missed. Universe is ultimately good and right? Universe is ultimately good, and his conviction is that enlightened and individuals have an obligation to the rest of the society to change them, and the good society must be done with good society must be done with must be one with which must be one in which the truly wise are the rulers. The truly wise people are the rulers. They must be the rulers. Unwise people must not be the rulers. And this should not be given the role to rule. The dialogue between the teacher, Socrates, and the student, Glaucon, do have the discussion, and it draws what truth exactly is and how the nation is to be ruled. This allegory directly and indirectly emphasizes in revealing the truth and getting enlightened through the knowledge, learning, getting information, and becoming wise, becoming intellectuals, and coming out of the darkness of this visible world of cave, and just coming into the knowledge, and to bring change in the life of the innocent people, ignorant people who trust the shadows and the truth in the cave. This is what the real allegory, the intellectual, the wise people, learned people, enlightened people, and see, and the philosophers must come in this world of cave and change the lifestyle of innocent, ignorant, and people who are uneducated, who trust that only shadows are the truth, but they cannot find the truth that objects are behind the shadows. The cave prisoners are to be taken out of the darkness into the world of light, world of knowledge, world of truth, and into the wisest and the rich person, not in silver and gold, but the virtue and wisdom can transform the life of the cave dwellers. Otherwise, it is not possible to transform the life of the cave dwellers. Otherwise, it becomes always the life of the same prisoners, right? This is how the writer has brought the concept of the philosophy of politics, and this philosophy of politics is the reality politics, that the rulers must be wise, intellectual, honest to change the world, and then only it is possible to bring the change in the life. This is how the poet has brought the concept of allegory of the cave. Little bit in Nepali for the Sanskrit students, right? एलेगोरी इन द केभ भन्नेमा मैले अघि एउटा कथा भनेको छु, स्पाइडर एन्ड द बीको। स्पाइडर भनेको आधुनिक राइटर, बी भनेको मोडर्न एन्सियन्ट राइटर भनेर दुईटाको बीचको तुलना गरेको कथा हो। त्यो स्पाइडर र बीको मात्रै कथा एकातिर भनेर राइटरले, जोनाथन स्विफ्टले ब्याटल अफ द बुकमा छोडिदिएका छन्। त्यो कथालाई हामीले पुरानो, स्पाइडर भनेको मोडर्न राइटर हो, बी भनेको एन्सियन्ट राइटर हो। एन्सियन्ट राइटरले दुःख गरे जस्तै, परिश्रम गरे जस्तै, बीले पनि परिश्रम गरेर मह जम्मा गरेर मान्छेको लागि दिएको हुन्छ। त्यसरी नै एन्सियन्ट राइटरहरूले, हाम्रा ऋषिमुनिहरूले चाहिँ मेहनत गरेर पढेर समाजलाई दिएको यो नलेज नै दुःख गरेर दिएको नलेज हो। र अहिलेका आधुनिक राइटरहरूले चाहिँ माकुराले निकालेको जालो जस्तो पोइजन मात्रै, खराब कुरो निकाल्छन् र अनि लभ स्टोरी लेख्छन्, मान्छे मर्छन्, यो ठिक होइन भनेर त्यो कुरो कम्प्यारिजन गर्नलाई लेखिएको स्पाइडर एन्ड द बी भन्ने एसेलाई एलेगोरी भनिन्छ। तर त्यो स्टोरीमा स्पाइडर एन्ड द बी को कथा मात्रै भने हुन्छ, तर यता जोड्ने काम चाहिँ हामी पाठकको हुन्छ। त्यो कथा स्पाइडर एन्ड द बी बुझेर पढेर त्यसलाई स्पाइडर भनेको मोडर्न राइटर, बी भनेको एन्सियन्ट राइटर हो भनेर हामीले बुझ्नुपर्छ। त्यो चाहिँ एलेगोरी हो। त्यो उसले, राइटरले छोडिदिन्छ स्पाइडर र बी मात्रै भनेर, तर हामीले चाहिँ स्पाइडर भनेको चाहिँ आधुनिक राइटर हो, बी भनेको मोडर्न राइटर हो है, एन्सियन्ट राइटर हो है भनेर बुझ्नु चाहिँ एलेगोरी हो। यो एसेमा पनि एलेगोरी अफ द केभ भनेको यो संसार नै एउटा केभ हो, यो चाहिँ एलेगोरी हो। यो केभमा हौँ हामी, सबै संसारमा पसेका मान्छे प्रिजनर हौँ, दासी हौँ। हाम्रो खुट्टा ठ्याक्क हाम्रो बाँधेको छ, घाँटी बाँधेको छ, हात बाँधेको छ, अगाडि हेर्न लागेको छ, अनि हामीभन्दा पछाडि एउटा वाल छ, त्यो वालभन्दा पछाडि एउटा आगो छ बारिरहेको, त्यो बिचमा बाटो छ, मान्छे हिँडिरहेछन् त्यो बाटोमा। त्यो बाटोमा हिँडेको मान्छेको पछाडिको त्यो छाया, आगोको ज्वालोले चाहिँ हाम्रो ठिक्क अगाडि हेर्ने, बाँधेर टाउको सिधा पारेर अगाडि हेरेको ठाउँमा जब हामीले त्यो छाया देख्छौँ, त्यो नै सत्य हो भनेर बसिराखेका हुन्छौँ भनेर त्यो कथा ल्याएको छ। हो, हामी यसरी नै नलेज नपाउँदा, ज्ञान नपाउँदा, इन्लाइटेन नहुँदा, इन्टेलेक्चुअल नहुँदा, नपढ्दा यो केभित्र बसिरहेका छौँ, यो केबाट बाहिर निस्किनको लागि पढ्नु पर्यो, जान्नु पर्यो, विद्वान हुनु पर्यो, सबै कुरो बुझ्नु पर्यो, अनिखेर मात्रै हामी केबाट बाहिर निस्किन्छौँ। नभए हामी इग्नोरेन्ट छौँ, हामी वास्तविक सत्य तथ्यबाट टाढा छौँ, वास्तविक सत्य तथ्य बुझ्न दिएकै छैन, हामीलाई हेर्न दिएकै छैन, थाहा पाएकै छैनौँ। त्यो थाहा पाउनका लागि हामीले पढेर विद्वान भएर इन्लाइटन भएर बुद्ध जस्तो भएर बाहिर निस्क्यौँ भने मात्रै थाहा पाउँछौँ भने हो। र त्यो शासक त्यो हुनुपर्छ जसले अत्यन्तै शासन गर्न चाहने मान्छेले देशलाई पनि बिगार्छ, आफूलाई पनि बिगार्छ, त्यो मान्छेलाई शासन सत्ता नै दिनु हुँदैन। त्यो मान्छेले चाहिँ सबै बर्बाद पार्छ र जो शासन गर्न चाहँदैन त्यसलाई चाहिँ दियो भने राम्ररी शासन चलाउँछ। शासन गर्न नचाहने मान्छे को हुन्छ भन्दा फिलोसफर, दार्शनिक हुन्छन्, इन्टेलेक्चुअल हुन्छन्, इन्लाइटेन हुन्छन्, वाइज पिपलहरू हुन्छन्। तिनीहरू यो कमन वर्ल्ड यो के भन्दा माथि बसेका हुन्छन्, तिनीहरूलाई जबरजस्ती यहाँ ल्याउनु पर्छ। बेस्ट माइन्डहरू हुन् तिनीहरू, अनि तिनीहरूलाई फोर्सफुली यहाँ ल्याएर शासन सुम्पिदियो भने अनिखेर उनीहरूले यो केको लाइफलाई यो प्रिजनरको लाइफलाई चेन्ज गर्न सक्छन्। त्यस्तो शासक चाहिन्छ, अनि मात्रै तिनीहरूले मात्रै परिवर्तन गर्न सक्छन्। र त्यो शासकको प्राइभेट सम्पत्ति पनि दिनु हुँदैन, उनीहरूका आफन्तहरूलाई पनि सम्पत्ति कुनै राख्न दिनु हुँदैन। उनीहरूलाई कति चाहिन्छ त्यो सबै राज्यले पुरा गरिदिनुपर्छ भन्ने यो रिपब्लिकमा भएको कुरालाई यहाँ एलेगोरी अफ द केभमा यो आइडिया राइटरले ल्याएर प्रमाणित गरेका छन्। र अनि हामी यो सबै हामी चाहिँ यो भित्र बसेका कैदी हौँ है, हामी दासी हौँ है, हामीले केही सत्य कुरो बुझेका छैनौँ। एकचोटि यो केभबाट बाहिर निस्किँदा हामी दोधारमा पर्छौँ, फेरि दोधारमा बाहिरबाट भित्र पस्दा दोधारमा पर्छौँ। दुई पटक मान्छे कन्फ्युजनमा हुन्छ भनेको एकचोटि साँच्चै वास्तविक अब्जेक्ट देख्यौँ, हामीले रियल वस्तु देख्यौँ भने दोधारमा हुन्छौँ, यो सत्य होइन होला। अघि हामीले देखेको जुन छाया नै सत्य होला भन्छौँ केभ ड्वेलरको इग्नोरेन्ट पिपलहरूले। तर बाहिर गएर बानी भइसकेपछि, ह्याबिट भइसकेपछि, जानेपछि, सत्य कुरो देखेपछि फेरि केभमा आइयो भने चाहिँ होइन यो केभ चाहिँ असत्य रहेछ, सत्य चाहिँ बाहिर रहेछ भनेर मान्छे दुईपटक कन्फ्युजन हुन्छ भनेको छ। यहाँ लाइट भनेको नलेज हो, सन भनेको नलेज हो, अनि बाहिर जाने बुझ्ने सबै नाइटमा आउने नलेजमा आउने भनेको चाहिँ यो केभबाट बाहिर निस्किने भन्ने कन्सेप्ट ल्याएका हुन् यो डायलगबाट। र कुनै पनि नलेज गेन गर्नको लागि दुईटाको बिचमा डायलग गर्नुपर्छ भनेको छ। दिस इज हाउ the writer has exactly captured the concept, philosophical concept of politics, what ideal state can be made, how ideal state can be made, who can rule the nation and make the state ideal and the best one. And in that sense, the writer says, wise people, enlightened people, intellectual people, virtuous people, philosophers who are away from this world of sensual world, material world, world of pleasure, world of drinking, world of eating, खाने बस्नेबाट बाहिर, who are already there in their world of knowledge, in their ecstasy, maximum degrees of knowledge, they must be brought forcefully here, and it is their responsibility if they should come here and share their duty, their fate, and their fortune and misfortune, and should change the life of the people of the cave dwellers. Otherwise, the world cannot change. Otherwise, the world can be destroyed by the rulers who want to rule eagerly, and they go there in the chair and they fight and they destroy the nation. They destroy their fate. They become just greedy for the personal property, collection of the property, cheap goods, cheap things are always they snatch and they destroy. They do not do anything for the public. If the greedy people, those who are eager to go in the power, are given the power, and the power must be given to those who are unwilling to go, who are not eager to go, who are reluctant to go in the chair and just to become the ruler. This is how Plato has beautifully captured the concept of the politics, how it can be changed. And these are some of the slides. It can be useful for the readers. Please read it and get the idea. Thank you.